And where Arkansas, we have the hunger waste paradox. So we have food insecurity in the same zip code as we have a ton of waste happening. And that's just, that shouldn't be the case. We are an agricultural state. We have a lot of smaller farms. There's a lot of urban ag that happens around the larger cities, but we have a lot of rural area. That's the challenge, is the rural areas and really finding ways to be innovative and to get out to those areas.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Grow Healthy, Help People podcast, a podcast that Accordis puts on. We love talking to our nonprofit leaders and learning all about the amazing things they are doing in their communities. Today, we are here with Chris from Potluck Food Rescue for Arkansas. So, Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's been a busy day, but I'm doing well.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, tell us where you're calling from.
So Little Rock, Arkansas. We're smack dab in the middle of Arkansas. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, before we get started, because I've talked to you before and you guys are doing some really amazing things, I want you to tell everybody kind of what it was like for you growing up. Is running a nonprofit kind of something that you always wanted to do, or what really got you excited about starting a nonprofit, running a nonprofit, doing the food rescue?
Well, so it was actually, I've always grown food. My grandparents taught me that. We're in Arkansas. Even if you're in Little Rock, it's 20 minutes, 10 minutes, way back when it was 10 minutes, you're in the country. It's still very much like that. But, we're a huge ag state still, but a lot of our ag it's exported out. So, we have a lot of community gardens, things like that. My grandparents taught me all that stuff. My mother was a nurse. I guess I just was raised, my father was a chef. So I was raised around food and raised around self-reliance, self-resilience. So, and yeah, I actually went to school to be a writer. So not.
Wow. So you had one thought in your head and then kind of switched paths.
Right. I wanted to be like more of a Hunter S. Thompson or something, but I still get to kind of do that. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, how long has Potluck Food Rescue been operating?
Potluck's been around since 1989. That was the inception. That was the idea, and it was from that point. I mean, it took about 2 years before it was organized. So 1991 was the IRS organization, nonprofit status, but 89 was the inception.
Okay. And when did you step into the role?
Pretty recently, actually.
Yeah.
I've worked with Potluck for years, like 7, 8 years, with my predecessor as an urban agriculturalist. So I was actually growing food for Potluck. And and doing a lot of educational stuff with community gardens, building community gardens, working with local schools, and a lot of education. But then, just got into. I was told I would like this, and it actually the logistics and the coordination are it's kind of what brought everything together. To be honest, my background for 20 years has been in food systems, so it was really the food rescue that brought it all to a complete cycle. So.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about what you guys do, what programs you offer, and kind of how you serve the community where you're at.
So what we do is we work in food rescue but also waste diversion. We don't even like to use the word waste. I call it surplus because this always has value until it's absolutely needed to go to the landfill. We don't want it to go there. We've actually, just last year, we diverted about 65,000 pounds. And that was out of 1.4 million that we rescued. So that 65,000 pounds otherwise would have gone to a landfill. And there are the circumstances where you might need to send something to a landfill if it's pest infestation or something like that. But we didn't have that situation. We basically create access where there is no access. We have a lot of food deserts here. So.
Absolutely. So once you rescue this food, what happens to it after that point?
So we actually have a small warehouse. It's 3,700 square feet, very tiny. Most of it is cooling. Most of it's a walk-in cooler and 2 walk-in freezers. So we specialize in prepared foods. So it's from caterers and restaurants. And then highly perishable stuff as well, like certain produce, cut produce, TCS foods, temperature control stuff. So that's our specialty, and we do have a food bank here that's Feeding America affiliate, and they stick to the perishable stuff, and our lane is the highly perishable. Or they stick to the non-perishable, and our lane's the highly perishable.
Okay.
Yeah, it comes here for quality control check. because we do get stuff from retail, so from Sam's Club or another. And we we actually have about 117 agencies, partners that come through and pick up from us, and that gets dispersed out 10 counties right now. So
Wow, that's incredible.
yeah.
So, how many partners do you currently have? Did you say, like, as far as people who donate food to you?
As far as the donors, we have about 152.
Wow, that's awesome. Do you ever have, when you approach people, do you ever have pushback on that, or are they pretty willing to want to send it there?
The willingness is there, especially if they're from Arkansas.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't familiar with the Good Samaritan Act. They're not familiar with the Good Neighbor, which is the Arkansas version, basically. They're not familiar with the fact that if they're donating in, you know, if they're donating in good conscience, there's no liability. So, and that
Right.
we're not going to donate their food out of gross negligence. We're going to
Yes.
make sure that it's well taken care of. So
I got
there's
you. So
pushback.
there's some fear there. Yeah, that they have fear. Yeah, I can see that. So, in doing this, what do you feel like you've seen the biggest challenges in running the nonprofit since you kind of took the reins? What do you face? What are the hardest parts?
Well, man, we actually, right. Well, it's we did double our intake the first year, and that was not really. I mean, we were just keeping up with the need. Really, that was basically it. That and so that has been something that we're always on our toes. We have to always remain adaptable, agile. A food rescue can come in at any time. We've actually added, the digital version to that with Food Rescue Heroes who we use. So we're trying to kind of expand this county by county, but not in a way that creates way more overhead. So we're brick and mortar. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So are people able to come to you directly, or is it only through the people that you source out as far as like other organizations that you provide for?
So we mainly provide to just organizations.
Yes.
We can't really do the individual, but we do have programs that actually help us to respond to that. So
Okay. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So, oh, go ahead.
no, 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 by all means.
Well, I'm wondering, so on top of the organizations, do you work with any school programs also?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Little Rock School District, North Little Rock School District.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few as far as our public schools. We have a lot. They're in abundance, like our parks and like our farms.
Yeah.
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 So we do work with
Absolutely.
school systems. We help out with. We need to get them a fridge or something. We might write a grant for that. They become a food
Okay.
access point. So
Okay.
yeah.
So if people are donating to you on the financial side, then you are able to use those funds to help schools with those purchases and things like too, on top of grants that you receive. Yeah. Awesome.
I think that
So
our revenue is 97% of our revenue is used towards programming. So.
Oh, okay, awesome. So what other things do you use? So I'm sure a lot of people, when they hear about your organization, they pretty much just think probably that you don't need a lot of funding because you're getting all this food and then you're just sending the food out, right? So what areas do you use those finances for? What types of resources is it going towards?
Well, I mean, so the unrestricted funds that does help with personnel. We run very lean, but we in Arkansas is a little bit behind everybody, I'd say, as far as like the inflation rates and payroll. But the mainly that's used for keeping the operations going. Whereas our foundational grants that we write, I don't really step into the Fed world, especially now. It's a little bit unknown what might happen. It's challenging. That's challenging. So so the unrestricted funds, we do some events, like two events throughout the year that actually do really well, help us to get unrestricted funds from donors that can be used towards our operations. So personnel can be paid for that too.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're watching this and you are a nonprofit leader, a lot of the nonprofit leaders that we talk to, funding is always a challenge for a nonprofit, no matter where you are, and it really just gets harder as time goes by, honestly. But one thing that a artist can help you with is really developing a campaign strategy to let donors see what their money is going to be used for, which is really important for donors. They want to know how that funding is going to be used, what they're supporting, and so if you ever need help with marketing or campaign strategies, please feel free to reach out. Our website will be at the end of this podcast, and we would love to help you. So tell me, you've been established for a really long time. Like this program has been in operation for a while. So do you have anything that you're looking for to the future that you say, I really feel like this could change, or I really want to see this happen with the food rescue? What kind of goals are you looking for to see more growth?
Well, I think that a food rescue is getting a lot more acknowledgement as far as how effective it is. And in where Arkansas, we have the hunger waste paradox. So we have food insecurity in the same zip code as we have a ton of waste happening. And that's just, that shouldn't be the case. And we are an agricultural state. We have a lot of smaller farms. There's a lot of urban ag that happens around the larger cities, but we have a lot of rural area. So that's the challenge, is the rural areas, and really finding ways to be innovative and to get, to get out to those areas. We work with other organizations in 10 other counties. I'd like to make that like 75. I think that's how many we have in Arkansas. It's a lot, but and that'll take time. But it's also, we collaborate. That's what Potluck was built on, was collaboration. So, that's the only way that we can operate. I think how every food rescue has to, right? So we even collaborate with the food bank and Feeding America. We'd like to expand through digital and work with existing organizations that are already solidified in those counties that have the trust of their community. And from there we just replicate the model, basically. There's a lot more to it.
Replicated in other states. It doesn't even have to be like Arkansas necessarily. This can be easily um, replicated in other areas, other states.
Foundation is sound. It's always keeping the mindset that you have to be agile. You have to be able to adapt in real time.
Right.
That's
Right.
the important part. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So, community gardens, you mentioned that. Is that something that people kind of approach you about and say, "Hey, we would really love to start a community garden," and they kind of help you with that? Or are you, constantly reaching out and looking for organizations or schools or other kind of clubs or programs to start community gardens?
So I do still I got a call today about beekeeping to come catch a swarm. I'm still on the extension website, so I haven't done beekeeping in a few years, but because I went anaphylactic the last time I got, yeah, actually got worse over 12 years. So, but yes, that does happen a lot. Folks still ask me all the time about gardening, and if they can start a garden. Sorry, it's a gnat in here, but the yeah the I always encourage it for sure because I'm so sorry. This is terrible. Yeah. Yeah. So I always will do what I can, but I do have a lot of connections that'll help them to establish one. So and yeah, schools especially. But that's always the tricky part, is keeping them going. So yeah, they need funding.
When I think of community gardens, and I could be wrong here, like is do most of them when they grow their food, they give all of that to you, or do they also provide families opportunities to come and get food directly from the community garden?
I would I would I would encourage to get it directly from the community garden.
Okay.
I guess I misheard your question. So, but
No,
yeah.
that's what I was wondering. You like the idea of people being able to go directly to the community gardens,
Oh,
and
absolutely. Yeah.
just what maybe they don't use or still have, they can send to you to be
Sure. Yeah,
used
absolutely.
somewhere else.
That's
Okay.
I'm not a centralized person at all. I want to
Right.
decentralize this whole thing,
Yeah.
because I mean it makes sense. Why there's no need to pick up something in two counties over to bring it back here. So
When it
yeah,
can be used in that county. Exactly.
exactly. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
just we're increasing our carbon footprint. We're not being environmental in that aspect. It's so there's
Yeah.
some things about like the way that we even do things now that I was
Yeah.
grandfathered into that I'd rather break down. And so yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So tell me, how can people get involved with you? If they're specifically not in Arkansas, how can they give, or how can they, what can they do in their areas to really kind of get this going and research and learn about it? Or if they're in Arkansas and near Little Rock, how can they specifically help you? Do you have volunteers? What does that look like?
We do. We have volunteers. Right now, we're so lean at the moment that I'm actually fishing for a volunteer coordinator right now. So I'm actually doing some of it, but we do, and we're so small that we have, not a ton of space, but we have volunteer opportunities off site as well, like with our no cost markets that go into communities with. We know how to push excess real fast, so we've developed those partnerships to be able to rapidly activate a group of folks to work within their community, and then we drop off food and work with them to get it out. So yeah. But if folks are around the Little Rock area, it's potluckfoodrescue.org is our website. There's a volunteer button. If you want to drive through Food Rescue Hero, we have that app as well. I encourage folks to check out Food Rescue Hero or any food rescue websites. Food Rescue Hero is one that we're a part of, and there are about 23 of us, I think, around the country, one up in Canada. And yeah, we're a network of food rescues. So different sizes, doing different things, but spitballing ideas and trying to trying to figure out the best way to do things. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, I would encourage you to look up Food Rescue. We'll put the links in the show notes at the end of the episode. We'll put the links there. And so you can check them out if you are in the Arkansas area, if you're not in the Arkansas area, and this kind of pulls at you, you feel a connection to this, and it's something you want to get involved with. Make sure to check them out. See how you can educate yourself, see how you can do things like this in your own community. And I know that they would appreciate you if you are in the Little Rock area to get involved with them. They can use volunteers, as every organization, guys. They appreciate your time and your service and your heart to help them. So make sure to find a way to get involved. And if you want to give to them, just visit their website. And I know they would appreciate that too. Chris, I have really enjoyed learning more about food rescue today. And thank you so much for talking to us and being on the podcast.
thanks for having me. I really appreciate you reaching out. So this is great.
Awesome. Absolutely. Guys, we will see you next time. Thanks.